Hello, listeners, and welcome back to another week here at Side Hustles by Seoenz. Today we have a very special guest, but without further ado, I'm Heidi So.
And this is JC.
And today we have Victor Zazueta. He's a very good friend of us. He is an entrepreneur, an insurance broker, and an investor here in El Paso, Texas. So thank you so much, Victor, for being here with us today.
Hey guys, thank you for having me. Hey JC, thank you again. It's a pleasure to be with you guys.
Thank you. Oh my God, I'm losing my voice. It's so early and I'm already losing my voice. Okay, so Victor, before we get into your niche, which we've known that it's called the high risk insurance exposure through Victory Insurance. So before we get talking into like what you're doing today, which is being this insurance broker for Victory Insurance. So before we get into like that specific thing, we want to know, how did you get started? Where did it all begin? Take us back to that first, moment that you realized that this is what I'm gonna start doing and going forward from there.
Yeah. I mean, it's been quite a journey to say that. If I have to start all the way back when I was in college, graduating high school, I decided to go ahead and go to UTEP to study electrical engineering. So that was always my passion. I was a technician since I was 16. I was working for Socorro Independent School District as a technician, and I worked for them for about 4 years. So right after high school, another 2 years. I always been on the computer sides. I mean, I always loved it. It's been great. So I'm like, okay, engineering. That's what it is. I love engineering. Let's go for engineering. Start doing my courses. I like it. I don't feel like it's my passion, right? I like it, And okay, so I'm like, okay, I'll keep doing it, just in case. If anything, I mean, I won't work on it, but I wanted to go ahead and do it for having a title, having everything ready, my future secured, and you name it. So after 2 years, on my sophomore year in UTEP, my friend tells me, "Hey Victor, you know what? My girlfriend is in Austin, and I'm gonna move in with my girlfriend. So we're looking for roommates. Do you wanna come?" I'm like, I don't know, man. I always want to get out of El Paso and try to see what other cities are out there. And of course, Austin has always been a great city. I love it. To this day, I love visiting. So he tells me this. I think about it. I don't even tell my parents. I don't tell no one. I just apply to Texas State, which is in San Marcos. It's about 20
like
minutes
an hour,
away
no?
for like 20 minutes away from South Austin. So, but we were going to live in Austin, right? So I applied. Everything was well. All my credits transfers. They accept me in the College of Engineering in Texas State, which was brand new back then. It was only like 5 years old. So it was pretty cool. It was very, very cool. It was a great experience. I moved over there, started living with my friend, his girlfriend, another friend, and I, in a very nice apartment. First time out of my parents' home. Amazing university. Very, very. What do you want to call it? I don't want to say hard school, but very fun school. Very fun.
Yeah.
So it was great. It was great. We were all going to Texas State. Sometimes we took turns. So it was a great little couple of years in my life where I got to see the college life out of my parents' house, out of another city, new people, new ventures, new way of thinking of everyone. I mean, it was just great. But they were working in T-Mobile. I was working in Geek Squad. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
when I moved over to Austin, right after the SISD and from Score Independent, I here in El Paso, I went to apply to Geek Squad. Went to Geek Squad, and when I moved to Austin, I transferred my Geek Squad job over there. All right. So it
Mm.
was okay. I mean, it was good money for a college kid. It afford party and afford my rent and afford my car and gas money. That's all I needed, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but then one of these days, this Friday afternoon, I remember it clearly. We were just ready to go out, but everyone. It's weird that all three of us had the day off, especially because we all work retail. So you know, the world of retail, there's no weekends off. There's no holidays. It's just you'll get a day off somewhere around the like Tuesday or Thursday, and that's about it. You know. But that Friday, we all got the Friday off, and we were sitting down on a couch in our living room, and these guys were talking about their paycheck, and we all got paid that same day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Surprise to myself is that these guys were talking about tremendous amounts of money. I mean, crazy. They were earning like three or four times my paycheck. I'm like, guys, what the hell are you guys doing? I mean, I thought I had a good job. You know, it's Best Buy. You got your good pay. You got your benefits. You got everything. And these guys were just making some dough there. So they told me like we work for T-Mobile. Remember, like what do you do there? I'm like, we just sell phones. We sell plans. I'm like, okay. I want to see what's all about. I mean, how can you make so much money, man? I mean, this doesn't make sense for a salesman to make as much money or even more than someone that had like my technical degrees, right? Uh,
Yeah.
so I'm like, okay. So I go there. This was in Barton Creek Square Mall. It's called. It's over there in Austin, and it's probably one of the busiest malls in Austin. And this store, this T-Mobile store, was not a store. It was a kiosk, which is not the same as a store. They told me it was a store. It's not a store. It's a kiosk, and it's this little 10 by 10. You can only fit about 3 or 4 people, and you're already squished like this, working like this on the
Yeah.
computer, right? So I talked to this manager, Hi Ty. He's an amazing guy. I still keep tabs with him. So he was a great leader. He taught me a lot about management and sales. So he was a great mentor to me. So this guy tells me, "Hey man, okay, so why do you want to work here?" I'm like, "Dude, because I just saw my friend's paycheck."
Paycheck.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, like I'm telling you, I thought I was making good money, but this guy's just taking it out of the water. I'm like, okay,
Uh-huh.
okay, all right, yeah, definitely you can do that. But first, and you're only, I mean, the
Interview.
I
Yeah.
guess interview that he got, he was like, okay, um, pull someone from the mall and bring it to the kiosk. I'm like, what do you mean? Yeah, yeah, like talk to someone, bring it to the kiosk, and sell them something. I'm like, okay, so I really felt like that Wolf of Wall Street kind of deal, you know, like sell me this pen.
Sell me this pen.
I'm like, I'm
Sell me
like,
this
wow,
pen.
dude.
That's so true.
You know, like to me was insane because it's as a technician, if you don't like something, if the computer's not behaving the however you want, or it's not doing what you're wanting to do, just turn it off, plug it, unplug it, and that's it. Okay, we'll go to
Put it
another
back
thing.
again. Repeat
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I mean, it's just simpler. This new thing of like talking to people and being persuasive and stuff like that, it's just it wasn't me. It wasn't
and
me. Yeah, go ahead.
and you as an engineer, no? Also like,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
exactly. Coming from a technical background, engineering background, um, to be truly honest, though, like this mall had a reputation for having beautiful girls always walking around. So coming from engineering, that there was only one girl in the whole engineering class.
That was me. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I mean it's insane. It's insane. So to me, I was very shy. Um, to be honest, I'm still a little bit shy. But no, I mean, I can kind of put it away or sometimes, you know. But at that time, I was very, very, very super shy. So, um, coming from that, this guy tells me, "Hey, pull someone." I'm like, dude, I don't know. I don't know anything about cell phones. I don't know your plans. I don't know anything about that. Like that doesn't matter. Just pull someone, and then once you pull them, we'll get one of the guys to go ahead and sell them something. So that's me right in the middle of the kiosk, in the middle of the mall. One of those things, you know. There's the big halls and then the little kiosk in the middle.
Uh-huh.
I'm this guy. I'm that guy that you're always avoiding.
Yeah.
That was me. I'm like, hey man, whatever. They just walked past me like I didn't even exist. Um, the rejection was something new. Feeling of rejection. It's I had never felt it. You know. Um, it was like I was a ghost to them, basically. But I kept on doing it, kept on doing it. 10 minutes passed, and I just can't pull anyone. And my friend was there; he was working, and he's like, "Dude, you need to pull someone. I mean, just talk to them." I'm like, "Dude, I don't know how to do that. Just talk to them. Talk to them
Just
about
pros,
everything
right?
except cell phones." I'm like,
Hmm.
"Okay, okay." So 10 minutes pass. I can't do it. The manager's like, hey, bro, you got 3 minutes. If you don't get someone in 3 minutes, that's it. You're out. You're out. I mean, this is your last call. So that feeling of having of being pressured, I don't know, something boiled inside me, got my little hamster running. And instead of trying to pull them and be like, hey, do you want to hear about our cell phones or whatever? I went to this guy and I saw his amazing watch, right? I love watches. I'm like, so I tell him, hey man, is that a Rolex? And he's like, yeah. How do you know? I'm like, oh, I can see it from a distance. It's an amazing watch. Oh, thank you. Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, dude, I tell him, I bet you have a cool phone just to go with that, right? And he's like, oh, you know what? My phone just broke. My screen just shattered a couple of days ago, and blah blah blah. I'm like, oh well, let me show you something. I'm like,
Help!
help, guys!
Help!
I don't know what to
Help!
do. It's your opportunity, please, someone come help me. But yeah, I mean, that was the first time I ever felt that beautiful feeling of selling something, of getting someone's interest out of nothing.
Hmm.
Um, I think that's when it first sparked the thing of sales. And then, of course, I got the job. I got better. T-Mobile is an amazing, amazing, amazing company to start your training on sales. Um,
Do you think?
and yeah.
Do you think you were ready for to make that sale? I mean, or were you prepared, or would you just say that it
Oh no,
just?
no, no, no! I wasn't even prepared to go to an interview. When when I went to my friend in the mall, when I told him like, hey, dude, you should present me over to your manager. He's like, okay, just swing by my work. He's gonna be there today, and that's it. So I thought he was just gonna be like, hey, okay, nice to meet you. Apply here, and then we'll go from there. No, it was totally opposite. I'm like, okay, nice to meet you. You want to work here? Go do that, and then apply. If you can do that, apply. If not, don't even waste my time.
Oh, okay.
And
So
that's so like different, right? First of all, but also, it is a good tactic because why am I gonna waste my time training you, teaching you all about the plans, all about the phones, all about everything you could possibly know, and then I mean, the reason you wanted that big check is because of the commission. If you can't get the commission
Without
from
making sales.
by making sales, then you really aren't. You're not gonna be happy either, because you're gonna be, you know what, this is not the same check as my friend,
yeah, and I mean, sales is not an easy job. is pretty hard. So you really need to find the that liking of changing someone's mind and informing people what to do and what's best for them. I think that's all rewarding, but it's very, very, very toll taking. It does take a toll on you.
I what would you say has been like that big, like that it hit you where it's like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to sell anymore.
Um, you know what? I stopped selling quite a quite a long time ago. So I don't sell anymore. I don't feel like I do my sales anymore. What I do is I inform the client. I tell them what are their exposures, what are they not prepared for, and I let them decide. I give them all the tools and tell them, hey, my professional opinion is this, and that, right? But it's up to you. Whatever you want to take, it's good. If you want to take one thing out of the three that I told you, it's okay. It's better than having nothing. Or if you don't want to take anything, I did my job. I feel good. I mean, God forbid that something would happen, but if it happens, I told you about it. I'm not gonna feel guilty that something happened to you, and I never told anyone. So now I don't do a lot of sales. I do more informing. But when I stopped doing the sales, when it was when I was in T-Mobile. I'm like, I cannot take this anymore. They got to a point where I dreaded the day. Like I woke up in the morning. I'm like, oh man, I have to
I don't
work
want to go to
today.
work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, I have to go to work today, and that's when I decided that's not life. That's not life. And I like I said, I like the sales, I like the informing people and all that. So I decided to
I
go
like the
another
money.
route. The money's always great, the money's always good. It's always a plus. But so I decided to stay in the kind of same thing, but more into the professional side of it. And yeah, I mean, when how this happened is that I went to vacations, right? I went to get some vacay in Miami to go into a cruise with all my family. Um, we do this every 2 to 3 years. We set up a whole family reunion somewhere in the Caribbean or in Florida or something like that, and then we take a cruise together, which is super cool, super awesome. It's always fun, and so when I went to Miami, this time we were departing from Miami. I had a friend living there, and we got there like a day before, my cousin and I, and we stayed with this friend. So that whole night we partied. It was like we got into the club at 8 o'clock. By 8 in the morning, we went out of the club. I'm like, oh my god,
Wow.
it's already morning. We should be in with our family in like 2 hours. I'm like, wow. All right, so we got everything ready. We went to the cruise. Took about a week, and then coming back, I had another day in Miami, and then I was going back to Austin. But we had such a great time with my friend that we checked on the airfare, and it was actually cheaper to move the flight a couple of days later than stay with the flight that we had. I'm like, dude, well, let's just stay. I mean, if we're saving money, I
Sure, saving
mean,
money.
yeah, saving money, we'll just stay. So I called my manager in T-Mobile. Granted, I already hated my job at this point. Because they made me work on Sundays. I have a rule. I don't work Sundays. I work every single day. I work 18 hours a day, every single day, except Sundays. There's no problem. I can work from 6 in the morning to 12 at night every day, except Sundays. That's my day. That's my me day. That's where I just focus and get back together.
It's necessary.
Get all my pieces
Recharge.
together. Yeah, get all my pieces together, glue me back, and we're go. So this guy, this new manager, they don't let me be off on Sundays. I talked to them. He's like, you know what, man? You have to be here. If you're not here, just don't even show up. I'm like, you know what, bro? I don't want to even show up. That's it. I quit. So I stayed in Miami for about a week, and I was thinking like maybe this is where I settled. This is my next city. Funny thing is that a couple of my friends from T-Mobile went over to Miami a couple months later. Now they're amazing real estate. They have an amazing real estate business over there. I'm like, man, that could have been me. That could have been me. That was another Victor in another parallel world, you know. But
Yeah.
so I decided to go back to Austin, get my things together, and see what's out there. You know, stay out there in the field. My cousin that I went with to Miami with, he was working for a big financial firm in Austin, and he was doing a lot of networking. And one of his networking events, he got to know Paul Guerrero, which was my mentor for insurance for Allstate. Right, that's where I started working in Allstate. And he told me, you know what? I know this guy. He's super cool. He's looking for people. He just wants someone that can sell, and he'll pay for the licenses, and he'll pay for everything, except you just have to show up and be good. I'm like, okay, I'm down for that. Let me go to an interview. Money was good. Everything was solid. Moving over from retail, being in retail for more than 7 years. Having like no weekends, having no holidays. They gave me a job where I was only working from 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. I had my own desk. I was able to actually sit down all day. In retail, you always have to be standing up. I mean,
On your
actually,
feet.
it's backwards. Yeah, you just can't go and sit down. It's against the rules. At least that was against the rules of T-Mobile.
everywhere
Yeah.
everywhere it's retail. That's like
Exactly. Exactly. I'm like, why
Excel,
are you
you
even
have to
here?
be standing up.
Exactly. So that was cool. That was a big change. I really like the office setting. Um, well, before this, sorry, I got a little bit ahead of myself. Now that I said the office setting, it's weird because I thought I didn't like the office, you know, because when I went to Texas State,
Uh-huh.
a little things got complicated. You know, it was my first year out, or about second year out in Austin, a new city. Um, got into some financial troubles with my credit card. So a little bit of too much partying. I lost my scholarship, and I had to pay for classes now, and I had a really bad credit card debt. So I decided to work a little bit more, and that work a little bit more. It was one semester, and the next semester was like, you know what? Let me take this semester off, so I can pay for everything. You know, I can really focus on work, pay everything, and then come back and have money to pay for my next classes for my next semester. It was like $5,000 back in the day. So that little break,
Break.
got years ago, I'm still having it. So yeah, I'm still in my break to get into the adult
On your,
financial troubles.
what's it called, like the leap year? The leap year. It's
Yeah.
still, it extended.
Yeah. So I see my friends, my classmates graduating, right? And I see their jobs, and I see them. I'm like, dude, I don't know. I just cannot see myself going to a research lab all day, or going to an office all day, or working an 8 to 5 job, and that's it.
And then you end up,
this is not me.
like working 9 to 5 Monday to Friday.
Exactly. Yeah. So that was not. I'm like, dude, that's a boring life. I'm like, dude, that's me.
Who wants
So I
that?
ended up working at a 9 to 5, which was great. It was the first couple months. Man, I didn't even know what to do with myself on the Saturdays and Sundays. I'm like, dude, what do normal people do on Saturday and Sunday? You know, I'm like, there's so much free time. Like, you can do so much stuff. So I started working there. I really got the hang of it. Paul was a great mentor. He told me, he showed me how to market my brand. he had an amazing way of doing marketing for his Allstate and the EFS, which is like the specialist financial person there for Allstate, also gave me a lot of insights on how to do that. That I really took an interest for that, you know. But I always saw it as an end goal, financial officer, financial expert. I always saw it as an end goal. I thought it was very hard thing to do. So I focused on the PNC side, which is like your cars, auto, especially in Allstate, it's only cars and auto.
Okay.
There's a lot
Isn't
of
cars
business.
and auto the same thing?
Cars and home. I'm sorry. Yeah. So there's a lot of there's business owners or like business policies, but they're not that big on that. So I got to be an expert on auto and home. I'm like, dude, this is easy. I'm like, why am I even working for this guy? I'm like, I'm making him so much money. He's not paying me well, blah, blah, blah. You know, I started getting greedy. An opportunity arises back home in El Paso, right? And my family's going to some difficult times. And my little sister is only, like 20 years at that time. No, not even that. She was like 19.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Somewhere 18, 19, somewhere around that. So I decided to go back home. See a little bit. I'm like, I'll stay at home only about a year. If I do go into business, I'll just grow it and move it to Austin. I mean, go back to Austin. You know, I found it like it was my new home. I loved Austin. I mean, I was already there for 6 years. I did a whole life in Austin. Sometimes I feel like it's just a dream. I feel like it was just a dream of mine because I feel like it's been so long since I was there. It's only been 6 years now, but I feel like it was a lifetime ago, right? So I come back. My friend tells me, you know what? I'm selling my agency. He had an insurance agency. I'm selling my agency. I opened up a brand new bar, a club, and he was doing great. And of course, you know, a club is much sexier than an office. I mean, much funner. You get free drinks for this guy, beautiful girls all day. I mean, he was great. He was having a blast. And he's like, dude, I'm bored of that. I mean, this agency is just meh to me. I'm like, okay, well, I don't have any money. He's like, well, I'll give it for you like pretty cheap. I'm like, what cheap? I'm like, very cheap. I'm like, I still don't have that money, man. So I told my friend, he was doing very well with he's a event promoter right now. And well, not right now. There's nothing going on right now. But before COVID, he was an event promoter, and he had the money. He's like, all right, dude, we'll go together. I'm like, you go as an investor. I'll run everything. I'm good, man. I'm an expert. I have 8 months of training. Come on, bro. I can take it. I'll do it. He's like, all right, man. I like it. Let's do it. Okay, cool. Start doing it. And this was an independent agency. This was not a carrier. This was not an Allstate. This was not a Farmers. This was not a State Farm. You know, this was not a brand name. It was just a broker. Very different. It's we sell the same thing, but very different animals. I mean, it's just completely separate. It took me a lot of time to figure that out. It was very, very rough 3 years. The first 3 years of my business were very, very, very hard. I came from Austin with a higher pay and a great job and a great life and my independent life because I was living alone. You know, I mean, I had roommates, but I had no
parents,
no family over there. I mean, I have family, but I saw him like once or twice a year. It was not too much. My cousin was there. I mean, I saw him pretty often. He was my only like family. I consider him a brother. So So we hanged out a lot. But other than that, I mean, I was alone. Coming back to El Paso, I came back to my parents' house or to my dad's house. And I felt like I just regressed. I mean, it was like six years of being alone and being my own and being my own independent guy, and coming back to El Paso, to my same friends, to my same group, to my same home. I mean, it was just weird, very very weird. But
So you
thanks
were
thanks to them.
uh, like
The what?
that. You were a different person. Like your
Yeah,
mentality was
exactly. Yeah,
completely
you
different.
came back. I came back with a much faster pace. I walk faster. I talk faster. I drove faster. I just did more things in one day than any one of my friends did, and it was weird. Like everyone was looking at me and like, okay, you look weird, man. Like calm down, calm down. We don't do this thing, this fast things around here. And now I think there's still a little bit of me that I'm a little bit faster paced than everyone else here in El Paso, but it's a
You've
beautiful
come
thing.
down.
Yeah, yeah, and quite a bit. Yeah, quite a bit. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it was very, very tough the first 3 years. I learned a lot. Every single phone call, there was something new, like something new. They were telling me, "Hey guys, so you're an insurance broker, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "So you guys do bonds, right?" Uh,
Yeah,
yes,
sure.
of course, of course. Well, he was talking like, yeah, tell me a little bit of what bond do you want? When he was talking, I was typing in Google like, do insurance, the insurance producer can do bonds, and then started looking at whatever they were talking. I just got all their information, looked it up in Google, and see, and started figuring out how to do it. I mean, this was the first year, probably the first 2 years, maybe. Um, Getting new markets. So I thought that opening up an agency, you just like call Progressive or call, I don't know, you name it, Geico, and told them, hey, Geico, I have an insurance agency. Let me sell your product. You know, it's not like that. I mean, they bet you. It's like you going into an interview. Like it's a bet. You have to talk to the sales market rep. They have to make sure that your office is fit for them, that you have a presence, that how you do your marketing, how do you present yourself, like who are your employees, how do you vet your employees. I mean, it's a whole process of betting your agency to be a representative of them. And I thought it was just calling them up and like, hey man, let me sell your products. I got you. I'm selling products. I want to sell yours. And it's not like that. So it was very tough coming from Austin, earning good wage, and the first year here in El Paso, if I got $100 per month, that was a lot. That was a lot.
Do you think that obviously, coming back home, but
Hmm.
at any point did you regret your decision of not finishing your college degree and just going all in into this new world of sales?
Um, don't get me wrong, I did. I did. I sometimes do still. I don't regret it, but I wonder, like, what would it have been? If I didn't party that much, I just went to school, didn't go into the sales world, finished my degree, was maybe, I mean, Texas State has a very good program with Boeing. So I will probably be working some plant in Boeing. I'm like, how would that be? But then I think of it, it's a very mellow life. I don't think I'm fit for that mellow life anymore. I think I was maybe at one point, but circumstances changes you every single day. You have to be changing. Every single decision you take takes you to another path. So my decisions have been taking me more and more and more and more into out of the employee life now. Maybe I work way more than I would if I was an employee. But I wake up every single morning and say like, yes, it's another day. Let's go. I mean, I get at home at 10, 11 p.m. I'm like, dude, I'm so exhausted. This was a tough day. But then I wake up next day and like, let's do it again. It's another day, baby. Let's go. And with my and with my usual jobs, when I was an employee, even in Allstate, it wasn't like that. I'm like, okay, it's
One more day.
Tuesday. We only have about 4 more days of work. All
Friday.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once we got to Friday, all right, let's 5 o'clock. Let's go. That's it. And here on my own thing, it's Friday. It could be a Friday. It could be a Saturday. It could be a Monday.
Every day is
Every
Friday.
day, to me, every day is Friday because Fridays are a Monday for me. It's just you work,
You
work,
lose
and
track of time. You lose track of what day it is because it's not that it's like repetitive or there's a routine. It's just the fact that for you every day is different. So I mean, what happens to us, I think it's that we just lose track of time. I don't even know what day it is sometimes. It's just kind of like, I'm just going so fast and we're moving so fast, doing all these things that I'm just lost today. But I wanted to ask you another question. So, how did you get over that fear? Not over the fear, but I would say, like, when you're trying to start a new business,
Mhm.
fear is a big part of it. You're trying to get over, like, okay, the security of having, of being an employee, right? Having that job, and then just taking that leap of faith and going for it. So I know what it was for us that made that, switch. But I'm really curious, like, what was it for you that you were like, you know what, let me just go for it. And if something happens, it happens, and if not, I learned from this and I'm growing. So what was it for you?
um, do you want the Hollywood story? Or do you want the real story?
No, the
The
truth, the
Hollywood,
truth.
yeah. Let me tell you the Hollywood story for me. So the Hollywood story is, I always knew that I was gonna be my own entrepreneur. That I was gonna be my own boss, and I knew that I was gonna have a successful business one day. And I just kept, I kept on doing it, and I went for it. The real story is, when I made this decision of opening up the agency or buying the agency, my situation here in El Paso, and the family situation was pretty hectic. I made the decision. I was a couple $1,000s overhead that I didn't have. I couldn't leave El Paso because of the situation there, and I just kept going. You know, uh, I was going to the office and making calls and not being successful at it, and didn't have the right companies to be competitive in the market. But I kept on digging. I stayed up late, figuring out why was not I competitive. I called my I used to call my competitors and tell them to give me a quote, right? So I told them to give me a quote, and I got like, okay, so tell me what companies did you quote me with? And they told me what companies they quote me with. So I called those companies and told them like, hey, I want to sell your product. And I just kept on digging and digging and digging and digging and trying to find ways how to like make myself better, how to be um, more professional. Because once I opened up my office, I thought that I was ready for it with 8 months of experience, and I was not ready for it. I was just a baby. I was learning how to crawl, and I wanted to run. So I learned how to crawl and skipped over walking and started running.
Yeah.
It's just
At, at that moment,
so. So the real story is that I don't know if I was too stupid to give up or too stubborn to give up, but I just kept doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it and being persistent and persistent and persistent and persistent until it happened. I mean, I'm not where I want to be yet. I mean, this is not my main goal, but I think I'm way better than when I started behind a dealership in Alameda, And thanks to that great friend, if it wasn't for him, this this agency will already be gone in 2 to 3 months. He helped me out a lot. He didn't ask for rent for a couple of years That
Wow.
was, yeah, that was great. That was great. He just told me, you know what, just grab a desk, grab a computer, put a printer, and we'll go from there, man. I mean, you'll be there. Don't even worry about rent. Don't worry about bills. Don't worry about anything. Um, he was great, honestly. And without his help and my family's help and my employees, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. You know.
And that's so like great, like to think back now and be so grateful, be so thankful that you had this support system. I feel that when someone's trying to go into that jump of entrepreneurship or just starting a business, it's just that's it. You just need that support. You just need to know that your family will support you no matter what, because yeah, it's scary. But but if that's your calling, that you feel like I don't want to do this anymore, I just want to start something. So once you have that support system from anyone that's willing to give it to you, it's so important. The other question that I had
Let me
for
just
you.
comment on that.
Oh.
That's key that you said, from anyone, because weirdly enough, your friends are not going to be the ones supporting you at first. They're going to be like, he's just kidding. I know this guy. This guy is not. He's not an entrepreneur. He's not a professional. I know him. I mean, he's not that guy. And they won't believe you at first, but they'll go around. So maybe your support system is always going to be your family, at least on the Hispanic side, and even strangers. That's the weirdest thing. Like if you go and ask a stranger and be totally upfront, um,
They will
I'll
help you.
say, yeah, they'll help you. I'll say this: I met a guy from one of the head guys from CD Lee, Britain, which is a big insurance agency here in El Paso, which are like couple blocks down that way from my office. This guy, I met him in a Cinco de Mayo festival downtown. He was eating a pork belly, and we were just chilling. And he says, "So what do you do, young guy?" I'm like, "Oh, well, I just opened up this office, blah blah blah." And the wife is like, Tell him." I'm like, "Okay, well, I work for CD Libre, and I'm part owner of that." I'm like, "Who the hell is that?" I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Well, it's one of the biggest agencies here in El Paso, and blah blah." So I tell him, like, "You know what? I really admire you because I'm very new to this, and this is so difficult. It's been so hard for me. I just poured my heart out and told him, you know what? People are asking for bonds, and I have no idea what are bonds, how to do them. Like, who do you go through? I have no idea." Like, all right, he gave me like his card and like call me on Monday. I called him on Monday. He gave me a little sit down and gave me like four companies. And like, here you go, man. This is four companies you need to start with and grow from there. That little advice from this guy that knew nothing about me. I mean, he doesn't really know. I just poured my heart out and told him the exact truth. Like, dude, I'm having very hard trouble. This is insane. This is overwhelming. He went ahead
He
and
helped
helped me.
out, yeah,
Yeah, he felt
without
it.
with no strings attached, with nothing like expected in
Exactly.
return.
He didn't tell me
Just
like, give me $100 and I'll tell you what company. No, he
No.
just went ahead and gave me that advice, and it really helped. That did a little push start. It cranked the motor of global insurance services.
So what was the question that you had?
No, I'm just saying that it is strange that some of the tips that we get, the ones that it's at the point that we're needing them the most, when we get the okay, this is a person that is gonna arrive, but I mean at the moment or when you have the issue, you don't see it, but just at the right moment when you need it, it pops out. I just
Yeah,
want to add that information. I mean
That
'cause, I mean,
comment.
for us as well as the strange thing that persons that you don't know about has helped you so much, even sometimes more than family. Because
exactly.
and that's the weird thing is that just going through it, like jumping into
Just a leap of
the
faith.
leap of faith, and then there there's gonna be someone actually gonna hold you.
Catch you.
Yeah.
Someone will catch you, hopefully.
and,
Yeah, I
that's
think
something that you don't know yet, but it's
so.
always there.
Definitely.
So my other question for you before you rudely interrupted me was no, actually it was that, what kept you going? What kind of advice would you give someone that they're just starting yesterday and they're like, you know what, I don't want to work anymore, I don't want to be an employee anymore, and I want to start my own business? What or let that we'll start that side hustle and make it, make that side hustle their business or something. So just starting that side hustle, what advice would you give them when they're having that hard time that you had? Obviously you had support, right? But what kept you going back? Like, what kept you from going back to work? What kept you going to, like, oh, you know what, let me just quit and go? I know you said that maybe it was stubbornness, maybe, but there should be a certain why that kept you going to continue your path. But what advice would you give, those people that are, maybe they're feeling that they're at their breaking point, and I'm not making any money, or that they're feeling that sort of, I guess, hopeless, that maybe I made the wrong decision. So that's my question. What advice would you give them to just keep going, to keep pushing, to succeed?
I think each and every one of us have a different motor, a different engine that what keeps us going. And I think that's very within us. You have to really sit down, take a little bit of time for yourself and think about it. Why are you doing this? Are you doing it because, yeah, you're doing it for the money? Yeah, of course you're doing it for the money. But what is money buying you? Is it buying you trips? Is it buying you comfortness? Is it buying you time with your loved ones? Is it buying you freedom? Or if it's want to be your own boss, why do you want to be your own boss? Is it because you want more free time? Because you want more family time? You name it. So for me, it was, I really had to like sit down and think. And to me, it was that I saw my parents. My parents are very hardworking people, very, very hard, especially my dad. My dad just works like an ox. Honestly, he's an ox, man. He's almost 60 now, and he still pulls 14-hour, 15-hour shifts.
Wow.
So yeah, he's an ox, man. It's insane, and he, thanks to that, he provided a lot to me and to my family, and I'm real grateful for that. But he did miss quite a bit of things that I'm pretty sure he wanted to be there, but because he had to work and he had that liberty of time, because he had to work to get money, he had to be in a site to get money. Um, he missed. So for me, it was build. I wanted to build a system where even if I'm not here, I can. This system will still keep on working on itself, making money. Me giving me the free time to one day when I have a family, if my kid is gonna have a tournament or a concert or you name it,
Have that freedom. Mm-hmm.
I can have. I can at least take an hour, 2 hours from my day to go. And that's the difference with between a 9 to 5 job being an employee. It's very hard. Maybe nowadays it's a little bit easier. Everything's more flexible,
Remote.
remote and flexible. Employers are not as strict anymore, but still, it's not the same as going on vacations and knowing that your bank account and your business is still working and it's a well-oiled machine that it's just you're the top what do you want to call it, the top gear that is turning, but all the little gears are turning on its own already. So that to me, it was a future where I can have more versatility in my time and being able to provide for my family, and being successful. It's always nice to for successfulness, it's different for everyone. So to me, it was having a business where I can afford all the things that I want, plus give a very comfortable life to all my employees. You know, benefits, life. I'll be the most, I guess, if you want to call it. I'll try to be very flexible with my employees. Try to be the most honest and upcoming to them. But at the end, I want to be like the manager, the one that manage this, manage that. Like I can be in my office and manage the whole insurance. And of course, I'm the only one person, right? I have experts for something else. Like I know about everything, but what I really like is that my employees are experts on something. Like I know about commercial insurance, but I have an expert for oil and gas. I have an expert for contractors. I have an expert for this. I have an expert for finance. I know about everything, but to me, it's more about overlooking the job, and that's what it is. I mean, going back to the main question is look into whatever really look
Drives
into
you.
yeah into yourself. Don't look out there. Look into yourself and what makes you happy, and
Introspection.
what it needs to happen to make you happy, and that's what it
So
is.
my last question, it's gonna be, what is everything else that you do? Because we did mention that you're an entrepreneur, you are an investor, I'm sorry, an insurance broker and also an investor. So can you give me just like briefly, um, just like what is it that you do, like through all of these three different things? And lastly, how can how can our audience reach you if they have any questions of anything related to
Or
what you
need your
offer? Mm-hmm.
services.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
call me and anything, even if you have just a question about life. I'll make 30 minutes for you guys, and we'll schedule. Um, so I do a little bit. I have a little bit of ventures here and there. We do have a little bit of finance here in the office. We do a little bit of finance. What do you want to call it? I guess we do a little bit of
Deb.
consulting on debt
Uh-huh.
consulting. We do. I have a partnership. So with the same guy that helped me open up this business, after a couple of years, I bought him out. Um, he had he wanted some money. I wanted my own 100% of the company. I wanted to feel like it's mine 100%. So I bought him out, and later on, he opened up his own restaurant. Right. Um, Now he needed a little bit of inflow of cash, and thank God, like I said, someone will provide somehow. Like you
Uh-huh.
said, I had the money. We opened up food truck. So that food truck, it's going. So it's signed Augustine Pizza. So if you guys ever want to try it out, it's one of the best pizzas in El Paso. They won the best pizza back in 2019.
Wow.
Um, and it's a brick oven. It's beautiful. So now we have a mobile location, and we have the location here in Zaragoza and Pebble Hills. And it's that. And on the investor side, I mean, we do little investments here and there. It could be property, it could be premium finance, it could be here and there. But of course, like you guys know, I want to get into what you guys do, the
I
Airbnb.
know.
That's something that really brings my attention to it. I think it has a very, very, very cool future. I think that's where we're all going. Um, as you see, I mean, Generation Z and millennials are not buying homes, are renting homes. So that's where everything's going. But lastly, yeah, I mean, any of you guys want to reach me, you can find me here at 1790 North Lee Trevino Drive, and our phone number 915-217-2100. I'm here. I'm here. This is my home. Honestly, my home, my house, it has a bed, and that's about it. You know, it has a bed, a TV for Sundays. That's all I got. But here, you'll find 3 fridges, 20 computers, a sofa where I take a nap. I mean, this is my home. I live here from 6 in the morning to about 10 p.m. So you guys can swing by. That's victoryinns.com.
except Sundays.
That's, yeah, Sundays you'll find me at home. If To me it's a great Sunday if I don't get out of the house. If I don't get out of the house, that was an amazing Sunday. You know, I just put myself back together on Sundays. It's like like a puzzle. You know, little pieces fall around the week. I just pick it up and put them back on. We're good. We're solid.
So there you have it, listeners. Thank you so much for being with us, staying with us through this great interview. This is definitely our first, I would say specifically side hustles related. You know, we really wanted to show you what it means to start a side hustle and just move it forward. And then, you know, you can always just make it your full-time job, your full-time career, your business venture. So if anyone out there it's listening and anyone out there it's maybe feeling scared of taking that next step, I mean, just go for it. You know, the worst, it's already there, because if you don't do it, if you don't try it, you'll always regret not maybe just taking that first, you know, step of trying something. So, you know, here we're very open. Hopefully you found this very liberating, and you take in some information from this interview we know we've had, and we're very thankful, Victor, for you for being our guest, and now you have it. So, you know, reach out to him. His business is Victory Insurance Agency. You have the website there. It's victoryinss.com. And, you know, if you guys have any questions related to anything that you think that it's remotely close to what he does, just reach out to him. I'm sure he'll be happy to take your call. Of course, we know we love doing business with him, and vice versa. So this has been Heidi.
This is JC.
And we are Side Hustles by Seoenz. So thank you guys.
Victor.
Thank you guys.
Bye.